So let me ask you a question. How much can you afford to spend on your court case for your children before you run out of money? You know, last year my partner Michaela went to a legal conference with solicitors and barristers, and one of the speakers commented that £65,000 was not a disproportionate amount to spend on one court case. Do you have £65,000 spare on a case? A lot of people come to us and say, look, I don't want to represent myself, I'm going to do it properly, I'm going to speak to a solicitor, we're going to go for a knockout blow on the ex, and hopefully the ex will see sense and it will end. People are also shocked when I tell them that their case is probably not going to finish at the very first hearing. In fact, that's almost never happens. I can't think of a single case I've assisted in where that's actually happened. Your case will typically run about 18 months. I'm speaking about private law here, and there will be multiple hearings. On top of the cost of the hearings that you're going to pay your solicitor, there are going to be form filling exercises, paperwork preparation, considering paperwork, and you're going to be paying for it all of it. So if you've got a case or it's going to run and you're going to use a solicitor, make sure you can afford to pay for it. If you speak to a solicitor, you will actually get a free half hour from most of them. We don't, by the way, we don't do a free half hour. So in that respect, your solicitor has got one on us. What your solicitor will do after you've had your initial meeting is they will decide whether they're going to take on your case, and if they do, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to ask for money on account. So that might be something like £500 plus VAT. Now the way it works is a solicitor's bill in 6-minute increments, so that's 1/10 of an hour. So if they're charging you £250 an hour plus VAT, they're going to be charging you £25 plus VAT for 10 minutes. But bear in mind that those increments, even if it's just a 2-minute telephone call, that's going to be £25 plus VAT if your solicitor's charging £250 an hour plus VAT. So what happens is, as your case progresses, your solicitor will represent you, because that's what solicitors do, they represent you. They'll do the paperwork, they'll respond to emails, respond to letters, look through paperwork, act on the instructions, have meetings with you, and you'll get a bill each month, and it'll be an itemised bill with the time and what they've done and how much has been spent that month. And then at the end of the month, they'll ask you to bring the money back up to account. So if it's cost you, say, £260 that month, they're going to ask for another £260 to bring it up to £500. And if you don't pay that, they'll stop representing you. If it comes to a big court case, a big court hearing, and it's going to be like an all-dayer or 3 days, and it's going to be way more than £500, I absolutely promise you. What they may do is they may ask for money up front, or they may ask that it goes on the bill. So when the case is finished, you're going to be paying your bill for whatever the difference is. But if you stop paying them, they're going to stop representing you very often. And not only that, they've got a legal right to hang on to your paperwork. So if you've got a big, long, expensive case and you've got all the paperwork, and there's lots of paperwork and there's lots of orders, your solicitor has got a legal right not to hand them over to you until you've paid your bill. It can really hamper your cases. We get contacted by people all the time that have said to us, I need your help, I've run out of money, my solicitor's got all my paperwork, what can you do to help me? And I have to say, it's limited, because we've got bills to pay as well. We are literally less than half the price of a solicitor. Sometimes even we get people that will say to us, I'm not going to use your help, Stephen, I'm going to speak to a solicitor and do it properly, and they'll come back to us a year later and say, I'm absolutely skint, what can you do to help? And like I say, it's limited what we can do. I do lots of blog posts, So, sorry, the dog's been a pain in the bum. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, we do lots of blog posts, we do lots of TikToks, we do lots and lots of free resources to help people out. We even do the odd worksheet. But the take home from this is, if you're going to use a solicitor, make sure you've got deep pockets. It is going to cost you money. And if you run out of money, it's probably going to be worse than if you represent yourself from the start. Although, do you know, I'd always say that you should probably represent yourself in just about every case. It is quite doable. I know you'll speak to solicitors, and at the bottom of every letter they'll send you, they'll say to you that they urge you to seek professional legal advice. They're bound to do that. It's under the SRA, that's the Solicitors Regulatory Authority, telling you that you should seek legal advice, and very often you'll even get a judge saying that. That's just what they do. Sometimes courts are happy for people to represent themselves with people like us. Very often they are, actually. But you do get the odd solicitor, the odd judge who look down their nose at people like me, and look down their nose at people like you who have got the temerity to represent themselves. So yeah, if you're about to embark on your case, or perhaps even if you're running one, and the bills are starting to mount up, or they're going to mount up, ask yourself, what will you do if the money runs out?